Arsenal vs Tottenham ao vivo. Arsenal vs Tottenham ao vivo.
Between the two Sanchez's and was given in favour of the left
side, unscathed in a very difficult half. But
there's a feeling that Ferreira has given Arsenal what they lacked, which was a bit of midfield fight. There's the Terrier. His highs for Arsenal's first few minutes in this game. Getting defensive. Pushing the ball everywhere, Arsenal. Just need to get up the pace of the game. There's a bit of criticism of Arsenal in this long unbeaten run. It has been that they have sometimes started games slowly. They've often given teams a goal advantage before they've woken up. Setting out Arsenal to do exactly the opposite today. Here's Torreira. Now holding.
They've won 12 out of the 14 games he's refereeing. Why has someone looked at that? How is he getting this game? I love it. That's trolling from like. Was it? Was the one who
The save they did put the heat on him. It's now worked out towards this left-hand side and played down the touchline. There is Kolesniak. Puts up his leg, gets the legs pumping into a good position, running towards goal. He's got that in his locker to get a goal or two, say Kolesniak, and now Spurs give the ball away. It's shocking play from them, and they're under pressure again with the Iwobi inside the box on the left-hand side, shoots towards goal, it's blocked. Kolesniak picks up the pieces. Can he pick out a cross? He tries to, and the ball's gone and behind. He's a little bit greedy there, could have passed it to Iwobi. The same can be said of the Nigeria international, Rob. I don't think the shooting opportunity was the best one, perhaps a cross, but what was Spurs thinking there?
Yeah, Sissoko gave the ball away, but
Arsenal vs
again, I
Tottenham
don't
ao
like the
vivo.
defender. They're backing off Iwobi, but it's eventually shooting from maybe a yard outside the 6-yard box. Didn't close it down quick enough. Kolesniak could have done better. He just delayed it too long, and the ball went out of play before he got the cross in. But sloppy from Spurs. I think they gave the ball away.
For not coming across, Foyth seems to be ignoring him. Is it Foyth's fault that he's miscontrolled it, Robert, or is it a case of he's just trying to blame somebody else? Well, I think actually what's happened is he's miscontrolled it, and Aurier thinks, and I think quite rightly, that Foyth should go. Aurier to cut in. However, that doesn't excuse one, the bad touch, or the fact he's kicked him off.
I think Aurier should just deal with it. Okay, maybe Floyd could have been a little bit closer, but you did have Iwobi to worry about as well. It's not as if he was just twiddling his thumbs back there. There's another Arsenal player. But you expect Aurier to clear it.
Yeah, ball in for this free kick towards goal with a header and a handball appeal from Arsenal. They're adamant. Spurs turn around. It's been given, I think, here, and Arsenal have a penalty. Didn't see it at first glance, but Xhaka and Mustafi appeal. Referee has pointed to the spot, and a yellow card comes out. Who is that for? Well, Vertonghen is the man the camera's focusing in on. He doesn't look to have any appeal about it. There's no protests. Oh, and he has. He's jumped up higher than anyone and punched the ball away from Mustafi. That's what's blunt the effort, Rob, and a penalty to the Gunners.
Yeah, no complaints from Spurs. It's silly, really. I'm not entirely convinced he would wanted to punch it, but he's got his arms up there, maybe just to get in the face. He's definitely hit his arm, and it's definitely a penalty. And it's stupid, really. Chance for Arsenal.
Yeah, here's Aubameyang, right footed, then sweeps the ball into the bottom corner. Arsenal take the lead. This bright start has been rewarded, and it's a simple finish. Sent the keeper the wrong way. Not the best penalty, but when they go in, they're not analysed too much. And really, Rob, it's what's been not coming, but I'd say a deserved goal.
Yeah, deserve. I think Spurs have started sloppily. I mean, I said that from the get-go, and it's another mistake. It stemmed from a mistake that gave away the free kick. Miscontrol, delivery is decent. I mean, he's marking his man. I don't know why he's put his hand in the air, but he struck his hand. Definite penalty. And Aubameyang has beaten Lloris 1-0.
After a strong start at the Emirates, Arsenal have taken the lead, and it's from the penalty spot, and it's Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang that slotted it past Hugo Lloris. It all came about because Mustafi and Vertonghen went to meet the ball in the air, and it is the latter, the Belgium international, that's handled the ball in the box. Referee pointed to the spot, no doubt about it, in his mind, gave the card, and Aubameyang scores his 9th of the season. Before that, the only chance of the game had fallen to the Gabon international. He headed the ball over the top of the crossbar inside the first minute, but Spurs, despite only having to make a short journey this afternoon, quite simply have not woke up after getting off the team coach. It's very, very lethargic from them. They trail by a goal to 0.
Yeah, you've got to credit Arsenal, just the way they're setting about Spurs when they're in possession, putting them under pressure. It does lead to, obviously, Spurs giving the ball away, but I mean, there's always some slack passing as well. But at the moment, Arsenal very much at the races, something which Spurs are not. The midfield, I mean, Xhaka and Torreira just giving no room at all. We haven't seen Ali, Eriksen in any kind of position to influence this game. Sissoko's very deep alongside Dyer, but they're not playing particularly well either. And I think Spurs are just a little bit desperate. They've been overrun in the opening 10-11 minutes, and they need something. Here in a possession, perhaps just a cool threat to keep Arsenal honest. But at the moment, the pressure's good from Arsenal. They're creating chances. They've forced a mistake.
It's a good save, good counter from Spurs, Rob, and finally they've come into the game.
To get there, I think Holding did well enough to actually keep him wide, so the angle's not fantastic. Decent strike though, well saved though by Leno, just a corner. I think if he'd gone early, he might have been able to catch Leno off his line, but he took a touch and he slowed down.
Yeah, I thought the same as well. Ball comes in from the set piece. Arsenal head it the wrong way, but it's still in their possession. Socrates brings it down the right-hand side, strong enough to hold off Ali. Just runs it in. Forward on the ball, it should be 2-0, and it's out behind for a goal kick. Aubameyang loses his balance, can't slot the ball home, and really a player of his calibre, even a player at lower leagues will be finishing that one, Rob. It's a really good chance.
Yeah, I don't think the deflection helped. So no, I think Iwobi looked to have overplayed it for a moment, but then he's got the overlapping run, and it's a good ball in from Kolasinac. It just took a touch off the calf of Foyth, which I think's wrong-footed. Aubameyang, he still sort of was able to get a decent effort towards the ball. He just slightly miscued it and didn't quite judge it properly, but it's another mistake from Spurs. Arsenal are pouncing on them straight away, and obviously Spurs very much under pressure. I mean, the midfield, the back four are just not helping each other.
It's like they've just met each other. Like they've just met each other in the tunnel. Some of the passing, I mean, that one to Harry Kane was awful. mean, I know Kane's not the quickest, but you've got to give him more than that. As Kane comes short from his goal kick, wins the flick on, but that's mopped up by Mustafi. Here is Lennon, who goes header there. Son back inside to Dyer. Dyer's pass forward, it's wayward. It's another mistake here. Unai Emery's side are really on top in terms of the pressure as well of the opposition. 4 attempts to 1. And of course, he spoke yesterday about wanting a era of North London derbies. Wants things to change around these parts. Arsene Wenger didn't have the best record in the end, but Pochettino won derby games. Of course, Arsenal want to try and gain the bragging rights in the first one of the season here. Ball out towards Kolesnik, scoops it down the line. Possession lost as Spurs come forward. There is Eriksson. He's trying to pull the strings in midfield. He goes across to go out towards Hojminson, who's now going to try and attack the Gunners' backline with Bearing defending. Still Davis now as he locks the ball back. No one's at the near post. That's where the cross comes. And it's scooped up in the air. There is Aubameyang. He hooks it down the line. Mkhitaryan. That's out for a throw. In Spurs slowly coming into this up top, Rob. Likes of Eriksson, Son are starting to click. Yet to think of Dele Alli though.
Yeah, Dele Alli chasing shadows at the moment. I mean, obviously he needs a little bit better service from the likes of Sissoko and Dyer. Eriksson's got moments to try and get involved. Vertonghen almost plays himself under pressure. In fact, he's overrunning. I thought he'd actually kept that in. It was just a clear down the line in the end. But a throw in to give him nearer the halfway line. Got to credit Arsenal there, but having said that, that ball over the top for Son to chase, it came out of nothing, and you know Spurs have got a chance there out of nothing. So I don't think Arsenal is rock solid as perhaps a top 4 side should be. So there will be hope for the Spurs, but I mean the midfield defence has just got to play better.
Yeah, it's a fair assessment really of what's happened. Back towards their own goal. Son gives Davis work to do. Davis scoops the ball up. That's like a potential handball from Socrates, not given. It's now launched downfield. There is a touch from Foyth. Made that look very easy. He's got a bit of a cut above the cheek as well, on the cheekbone area. Like it's been maybe a stray arm or something, and he's felt the effects now. And that'll be shiny and sore in the morning. Ball out to the other side of the touchline. There's Aurier. Foyth comes in. Kolesnik blocks it. He's going to go behind for a goal kick. That is of course disappointing to see Foyth put under so much pressure. Unai Emery and his team working out a few tactics. The ball's down the left for Son. It's hit the back of his ankles. That's frustrating for him. Just thought that he was going to be away there. Pochettino picks the ball up to allow the Gunners to take the throw in. Bearing to take, lobs it down the line, intercepted by Ben Davis. Of course, he's now still feel the left back at Spurs. You never know though with Pochettino, he'd like to got plenty of options in the backup areas. He's going to take this throw in. Here's Bearing once more. He's going to run towards the box. In fact, he spins and he turns, tries to go down the left edge. Eriksson gets in his way. Now knocks the ball back. There is Davis instead. But perhaps Spurs need a 5 or 10 minute spell, Rob, where the game becomes a little bit boring for the neutral, or for either set of fans, just to try and feel their way back into the game.
Yeah, I mean, they've seen a little bit more of the ball. Eriksson's come very deep to try and get involved, but somebody's got to pass the ball, and clearly Dyer and Sissoko haven't started particularly well in that regard. Arsenal perhaps that vigorous start that they've made, just get a breath back. Well, that's a good cross-field ball. Spurs asleep.
Kolesnik into a Iwobi, right free strike. It's blocked on the line. Arsenal waste another chance. It's scrambling defence. He put it in the right zone, really. Iwobi had to make it, I guess, a little bit more acute if he wanted to find the bottom corner. But from where he was stood, having to open up his body, I think he does well. Right there, look again at the back. They look absolutely. Foyth dives in, wins the ball, but he's out of position now. As Iwobi comes down this left-hand side again, he plays into Kolesnik. He floats into the far post. Here is Bearing, right for his strike. It's blocked. Last-ditch attempt from Ben Davis. It's out to Torreira, and he whips it past the far post.
Yeah, I think Torreira's actually going for goal there, but I mean, this is all stemming from a free kick in the Arsenal half and a diagonal to a man in space. I mean, Serge Aurier is asleep there, led to a good chance. Obviously, that danger was cleared, but I mean, Bellerin following up from the cross The last attack, I mean, nobody's tracking him. The midfield, as I say, the midfield's not helping the defence. It was sucked in by Mkhitaryan, who is marking Bellerin. There should be somebody there, but they're all over the place defensively. Spurs, that midfield just isn't working.
Kolasinac, of course, offers a real threat as well going forward. Now Xhaka has given a free kick away, but yeah, Kolasinac crossing was second to none there, both high and low. Picked out his man, but as Rob says, the marking leaves a lot left to be desired. It wasn't the best, to say the least. So here they come again. It is with Vertonghen. He goes across the defence. There it is with Dyer. Dyer down the right by the feet of centre-back Vertonghen. Here with Dyer again. Eriksen, he's got Ali in front of him, he goes for the through ball. Onside is Sissoko, he thinks, but the offside flag goes up in the end. But a real warning there, Rob, to the Gunners, because they got Spurs, and Sissoko sets off too early, way too early.
Yeah, he didn't quite arc his run. I suppose the back three is doing it all right there. The two full-backs slightly ahead of them, which is understandable. It's a three at the back system. If he just arced his run, or like you say, checked his stride, he's probably in there, and I'm not convinced that that Sissoko is making a run. Still a decent save from Leno. But again, it is a warning sign. We know Spurs are good going forward, so it is a warning sign for Arsenal, because that was, maybe he should have been onside. Maybe he should have just timed it better.
Yeah, what you'd think a striker would have done, of course, in a good area. Ball over the top, looking for a Aubameyang. He chests it, still brings it under control. Offside, perhaps. Yes, that's the call. Offside, according to the official on the near touchline. Bit of a wry smile on Aubameyang's face. He thinks it's close. A couple of Gunners' bodies in support. One man that is on the support of his teammate is Alexander Lacazette. Of course, he'll be hoping his first choice in the coming weeks. Will certainly be starting game or two around the Christmas period. It gets very, very busy. The ball played forward. Son wins the duel there. Releases Dele Alli, who's now charging towards the box. He cuts it back to Eriksen, who's going to try and turn his man. Kolasinac cuts it out. It's a good job he's there, Rob.
Yeah, good covering from a wing back there. They just don't seem to have as many forward players as Arsenal do when they stream forward. It's just not quite working. I mean, Eriksen's run from deep, but there's he and Ali, and there's 5 defenders. It's not the same the other way. Sometimes Arsenal seem to outnumber the Spurs. Again, it's a warning sign. Covering though, Kolasinac, just a corner.
Kolasinac does well. Eriksen to take this set piece. Floated to the near post. It's only underneath the boots of Socrates. It's going to bounce out for yet another Spurs throw-in. I can give you an update shortly before we'll take us through to half-time. Davis had it again. Ball in hand, ready to try and pick the teammate out. He lobbed it down the line. There's that 5 back across. Son looking at forward options. Son's beating 2 players. Run, left foot strike down low. Leno saves, dives on the loose carry, and make sure that the Spurs team do not get a second attempt, but a really inspired run there, Rob, from Heung-min Son.
Yeah, it's a clever feat. Well, decent strike at the end of it on his hit the target. It's a good save from Leno. Again, it's one you'd expect him to make. But all of a sudden there's a threat from Spurs, isn't it? I wouldn't be sure they're going to keep the
But Heung-min Son's had 2 cracking chances for the visitors to try and draw his team level. The first was saved by Leno, the second has been denied again by the keeper from a Bayer Leverkusen start, both of which were good efforts for the Gunners. Aubameyang scuffed his volley from inside the box, while Iwobi's been denied on the line. Bellerin had a volley blocked at point-blank range from Davies. The game, as I say, opening up a bit more tempo to it. Now let's hope for a cracking end to the first half. It still remains at the Emirates Stadium. Arsenal 1, Spurs 0. There's now chance to head over to Rob, who will take us through to half-time.
Yeah, Spurs coming into this a lot more now. We're starting to see the likes of Son and Eriksen get involved. Harry Kane really hasn't. He needs service, which he's not quite getting yet. But yeah, I think Arsenal a little bit wary now of Spurs, with those sort of half chances being created, not quite as intense going forward. I think the pressure on the ball carriers just eased a little bit. and that's giving Spurs a chance. I mean, Leno's made 2 saves, but the ones you expect him to make, I think Arsenal have missed the better chances in the game. Obviously, other than the one that they've taken. Iwobi springs to mind. Aubameyang as well on the edge of the 6-yard box. Those are really good chances. So they could have done a little bit better, and might regret those come 90 minutes. Spurs are only a goal down. Last time they won at Arsenal, of course, they were 2-0 down. That was at half-time as well. Pull back pass from Mustafi gives Leno some work to do. He does keep it in. Waits for Kane to close him down before smashing it downfield. Foyth just about beats Iwobi in the air. Pressure though from Kolasinac has to go back to Hugo Lloris. And Spurs on the back foot again. Lloris just clears down field. Dele Alli goes to ground. He looked to be backing into Holding. Holding just stood up. No free kick, says the referee. No real complaints from Ali either. And Arsenal have possession again. Teased forward towards Aubameyang. That's not the best pass from Kolasinac, but Torreira has won it back for Arsenal. On the halfway line, good switch of play as well to Bellerin, right hand side. Aubameyang's peeled ahead of him and collects now. Support comes from Mkhitaryan. Torreira just on the edge of the box, back to Aubameyang, clips it in towards the penalty spot, towards Iwobi. Not the best defensive header cleared from Aurier, but he does at least find a white shirt. He headed it down, which was dangerous. Maybe he picked his man, but a headed pass inside your own 18-yard box is a bit risky. Kane plays an early free kick over the top towards Son, a little bit too early, and that will actually be offside. But Harry Kane, the fewest touches in the game so far. He's only had 4, as what if that includes the free kick he's just taken badly, as Xhaka switches play for Arsenal to Bellerin, right hand side, under no pressure, but plays safe, back to the halfway line. Mustafi returns it. Bellerin goes infield to Torreira, under pressure from Dyer. He might just have left one on in there, but it was a switch of play anyway, and it's inviting Holding forward, who has Kolasinac to his outside, makes it all the way to the edge of the box, finds Iwobi. Challenge comes in from Foyth, and now Aurier is putting Kolasinac under pressure, but Iwobi is in support to Mkhitaryan, 20 yards out, tries to pull the trigger, closed down well by Dele Alli. No foul. Dele Alli might have come off worse, but now Son is breaking for Spurs anyway. And he's got support from Eriksen and Kane. Son to the edge of the box, going into the D. And just as he's pulling the trigger, he's half tackled. He comes out to Sissoko, digs it back in towards Son. But it's an easy claim in the end for Leno. Arsenal survive on that occasion, but spice it up.
Could he not shot there, Rob, maybe? I thought it'd been Armstrong yesterday against Manchester United, just a similar area. I thought he could have gone for goal. I'm not saying he could have hit the target or scored, but I just think a floating cross there gives Arsenal a second chance.
Yeah, I'm not convinced that the flag wouldn't have gone up. I mean, it's a tie one, but you never know with tie ones. Obviously, it was through to the Keith box. Didn't really have enough room there for that pass. They made it tougher anyway. Just had a fraction too much weight on it. As Arsenal back in possession inside their own half with Bellerin. But yeah, they're not as aggressive in the last 5 or 10 Arsenal. I mean, 1 or 2 chances or possibilities are emerging, but the opening 10 minutes they're all over Spurs, all round the pitch basically. But Spurs have settled into this game a little bit better now, and are starting to test Leno. They still trail by a goal to 0 though. That's poor from Mkhitaryan. Dyer has it for Spurs in the centre circle. Dyer has it for Spurs in the centre circle. Sissoko rounds Mkhitaryan and finds Eriksen. Sissoko goes forward. Doesn't really want to go into the box though. Eriksen driving infield, then try to reverse it back out to the overlapping full-back, but it's blocked by the legs of Bellerin. Launched downfield by the Gunners. This time Aubameyang outnumbered, beaten by Vertonghen. And it's back with Lloris. But yeah, I think Arsenal have just retreated into their shells a little bit.
Yeah, I don't really see the need for them to do that. I thought they should just keep going. Whether they've done that or Spurs are starting to grow into the game, maybe it's a mixture of the two. But I mean, I think you made the point around the 15th minute mark that they just couldn't handle the speed they were breaking at. Every mistake was being countered. At the moment, it's Spurs now making the inroads.
Yeah, Son makes a good run down the left channel. He's closed down well by Socrates, but it's actually a foul from the Greek. And Son goes to ground. It's not really in a central enough position to go for goal. You never know with somebody like Christian Eriksen or Harry Kane. I think it's a little bit clumsy more than anything. And he just accidentally trod on the toes there of Son. I say accidentally. He's a defender in the North London derby, who knows? But it didn't look obvious initially until Son went to ground.
I don't think he meant that. Son was begging for contact and got it.
Mike Dean just having a word with one or two players. Eric Dyer being one of those. I'm not sure he wasn't involved in obviously the tackle. I wonder if he's called for some kind of yellow card. I don't know. The referee, Mike Dean, is just telling him to mind his own business. Long chat for somebody who wasn't involved in either incident there. Eriksen stood over it, as is Davis, providing the different footed options. Davis runs up first, steps over, and delivers towards the goal. Clutching it, oh, it's in the back of the net. Bernd Leno has, Eric Dyer's got a touch, but it didn't appear to be much of them. Bernd Leno's behind it. He tried to scoop it volleyball style, got it all wrong. He just parried it into the roof of the net, and Spurs are back on terms.
A free kick for Spurs has led to a goal, and Eric Dyer has headed home in what is a fantastic moment for Spurs. But Bernd Leno, the opposite can be said of him. He's tried to scoop the ball up in the air, but has only batted it into the side of the goal. The free kick was contentious but clumsy in the end from Socrates. Son threw himself to the floor in order to get the decision, and the ball in near post. Dyer leaves it unmarked. There has been some nasty clashes in the aftermath of the goal. The players and the subs clashing with each other right in front of the fans. The managers have run down. This is spicing up. This could be one of the best North London derbies we might see kicking forward here. It's one apiece.
Yeah, real fracas going on.
Proper up.
The Arsenal subs getting involved. I don't know if Spurs deliberately ran into where they were sort of warming up, but I wonder what the referee's going to do. Mauricio Pochettino is quite worried that some of his players might overreact and perhaps do something they shouldn't do. As the delivery in from Eriksen, Dyer's got a touch. It's a tight one actually, offside, isn't it? Well, what do you reckon? On or off?
I think Socrates. I think Socrates is sandwiched between the three of them, so he's playing him on, Rob. Leno's got to save it at the end of the day. It shouldn't be going anywhere near it now. Dyer turns to celebrate, puts his mouth to his lips. Yeah, I just don't understand why it's Lichtsteiner that gets involved to say, hey, don't celebrate. Now, I have seen Stefan Lichtsteiner in the last few months and the last few years. He does love an argument. He loves to, without bad, what's he done wrong?
Well, there's plenty of pushing and shoving at the end of it, wasn't it? Maybe they've seen something. I don't know whether you can actually book him for celebrating a goal. He didn't take his shirt off. Yes, he shouted to the Arsenal fans.
Are you happy? Right, but
yeah, he shouted to the Arsenal fans, but I mean, he did sort of put his offside given against Aubameyang, trying to run him behind. It's just one of those. I don't know whether they've been getting grief or Spurs in general have been getting grief. Finger to the lips and telling the Arsenal fans to be quiet. A fist pump. Yeah, and then Lichtsteiner tells them to come.
But then what we saw very quickly was Ramsey and Ali. He would break off though.
There's a chance for Son breaking through after Abakil. He's still got it, goes to ground under pressure of the referee. What's he given? He's given a penalty. Mike Dean has given a penalty. I thought Son had taken too long. And now Kolasinac and Ben Davis are pushing and shoving. Sissoko's come across. This is all getting hasty. And Sissoko looks like he means business. Dele Alli always means business, and he's getting involved as well. I'm not convinced this was a penalty. No. We haven't seen a replay yet. A penalty's been given, and well, Spurs are going to take it. There's no VAR. It's given. Mike Dean gives another penalty, and that's two in the game already. He does like a penalty. We've seen a replay now. Tom, verdict.
He falls over the ball. That's one of the worst dives I've. So that's it. He turns. He doesn't touch him. Or am I seeing things? I'm a little bit tired, but am I seeing things here?
I don't think he touched him. No, I don't think it's a penalty. I think he's tackled himself. He's taken too long in possession. He's cut inside Holding, who arguably shouldn't be sliding in. He does so. I don't think Holding's touched him. I don't think it's a penalty. But it is a penalty. That's the important thing. Spurs have the opportunity. Harry Kane steps up and he sent the keeper the wrong way, much like Yang at the other end. And Spurs have been second best for the most part of this first half. With 11 minutes to go to the break, they're 2-1 up.
What a signed anybody, so it's pretty much the same team. They've been bonding together for a while. But I mean, you're at a point, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes of respect. If you're not going to try and turn on the heat, I suppose you're going to respond.
Yeah, obviously it was such a high tempo start. Maybe they just got tired legs, I don't know, but they did seem to just ease off. He appeared to be a free kick, set piece, 1 goal, penalty. Okay, I don't think it was a penalty, but two goals from set pieces, and Arsenal are now the ones having to respond after what was such a fantastic start for them, as Vertonghen takes a little bit of a chance, tried to shepherd the ball out. Mkhitaryan's kept it in. Was he pulled to the ground by Vertonghen? The referee says no, the linesman's right there, and now Son's been caught. It was a bouncing ball which he probably got